the channel. Hopefully, you guys are having a good week so far. It's Tuesday, um, and it's been a busy week. It's Tuesday, but it feels like it's Thursday, just with how much has been going on. But I wanted to come live to you guys. I was gonna make a video, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not making a video about this. I'm just gonna go live and talk to you guys and show you all live what my final pickup was or is for the year, and talk really quickly about why I don't think I'm going to be spending any more money for a long time. I'm entering a season of frugality. It's going to be about how frugal we could be, but I had one more pickup, just one more pickup that I needed to get my hands on before I called it a wrap. And I stopped my spending. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to be buying things for like my kids. If my kids want a video game, I'll get them a game. I'm going to get my family stuff. But as far as me, my personal spending when it comes to video games, anything that's not essential, it's over for that. It's pretty much over for that. Outlaw Star, what's going on? No, I've been collecting shoes, bro. I never showcased it on the channel. It was primarily video games, but I'm actually not gonna start collecting shoes. I'm actually selling a bunch of shoes, to be honest with you. This was just the last shoe that I wanted to pick up. Just in general. There have been a lot of shoes that have come out this year that I've been tempted to like go out and get. I just never did. But this was one, and the only reason why I got these is because I was able to hit on the sneakers app. I didn't have to go stand in a line. I didn't have to do any of that nonsense. I hit on the sneakers app, they shipped it to my house, and here it is. So I'm going to show you guys my final pickup for the year, and then I'm going to really kind of talk about why I'm going to be adopting this no spend policy pretty much for probably all of next year. So here, let me go and open up the box. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to spend all but 3 minutes on this. So these are the Air Jordan 11 Gammas. These came out in 2013, 12 years ago. I got this shoe because it is an extremely wearable shoe. Super wearable, super comfortable. I don't know how many of you have ever played basketball in Air Jordan 11s, but they are super comfortable. So if you've never like worn a pair of these and like broken them in, these are like super comfortable sneakers. So and also this colorway is just super wearable. It's like as I get older, I'm trying to avoid like the bright color sneakers. So usually if it's not an earth tone, if it's not a something just a little bit more toned down, then I'm probably not gonna get into it. Perfect Swish said fake ass shows. Were you trying to spell shoes? You ask Siri to write that one for you because I think you were trying to say fake ass shoes, but you wound up putting fake ass shows. So I don't know. Um, but anyway, yeah. So like I said, hit on sneakers app for these. That's the only reason why I picked these up. If I didn't get these on sneakers app, then I probably would have just passed on these. So, yeah. So now let's talk really quickly about something more important, which is why the spending is going to kind of stop altogether. Um, I'm really trying to adopt a new policy of really only spending money on the things that I actually need. Project Shifty, what's going on? Yeah, I think he tried to come at me, but he couldn't spell, so I don't know. I Dragonfly, what's going on? Um, there's a reason why I'm really kind of putting a lot of the spending to rest. And it's primarily because 2020. I feel like the second half of this decade is really going to be about doing as much as you can to reinvest into yourself. So whether that's reinvesting into your schooling, whether it's reinvesting into learning new things, whether it's building new skills, whether it's actually investing in the stock market, investing into real estate. I feel like that's what the second half of this decade is going to be about. When we came into the 2020s, like if you think about it, the first half of the 2020 decade, like from 2020 to 2030, the first half of this decade was marked by free money, spending, indulging, and yes, a lot of that came from being in a pandemic. But I feel like the second half of this year is going to be a swing in a totally opposite direction. There was a lot of indulging, there was a lot of indulgence in the first half of this decade. And I think the second half of this decade is going to be really, really different. And I think in order for people to thrive in the 2030s, like 2030, 2031, 32, 33, I feel like what we do in these next 5 years is going to be really crucial to how successful we are in the 2030s. And like I said, I was definitely a part of the group that did a lot of spending in the first half of this decade between eating out, buying stuff, video games, shoes, clothes, sneakers, trips, all of that stuff was stuff that I participated in. And while it was fun and while it was cool and we had a lot of really good experiences, I feel like these next 5 years are really going to be kind of like the batten down the hatches, get focused, and really prepare yourself for the 2030s. And so for me, no more spending is the policy that I'm going to be adopting. What's going on, Raccoon? Yeah, like no spending is really going to be the policy that I adopt for the second half of this year. Again, I have kids, I have a family, so of course I'm going to buy stuff for my kids, I'm going to do stuff for my family within reason. But I think the more that you can invest in yourself, the more time that you can spend investing in things that will ultimately make you money in the long term, I think it's going to be really important, especially if you want to continue to enjoy your hobbies. You know what I mean? Video game collecting is a luxury. Sneaker collecting is a luxury. These are all luxuries that I think we kind of take for granted when we get, when we get comfortable, really comfortable, whether it's comfortable in our job, comfortable in our financial situation. And it's not until something like major happens that we realize, oh shoot, I got to tighten up. And so the tightening up is going to start now. So these are going to be some of the things that you see me talk about on the channel. These are going to be some of the things that you hear me make videos about. And I think it's going to be really cool for those who are, still subscribed. For those of you who tap into the regular videos, I think it's going to be really good stuff. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with tightening up. There's nothing wrong with hitting the gym. There's nothing wrong with saving a little money. There's nothing wrong with preparing for the future. And like I said, the first half of this decade was marked by a lot of spending, consumer spending, people spending money on stuff. And I think to be successful in the 2030s, what we do in these next 5 years is going to be very important. And so that's why I'm really adopting this kind of no spend policy. Um, that Mexican, I used to have him in 2016. Yeah, the Gammas, yeah, the Gammas are classic. I don't have no kids or wife. I'm finna just lock in and set myself up for the future. That's the way to go, man. That's the way to go. Honestly, the best thing that you can do, in my opinion, especially if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 20s right now, the biggest asset that you have is time. Honestly, it's time. Time is on your side. And if you start investing now, today, in whether it be in yourself, in the stock market, you're going to see those returns come 10, 15, 20 years from now. A few months ago, about a month ago, I made a video where it was titled I lost my job, you know? And while I didn't lose all of my jobs, I did lose a job because I have more than one job. But I did lose a job. And if I'm being honest, I had spent 11 years preparing to lose that job. And I prepared myself to lose that job by spending less than half of what I made on an annual basis, by buying assets and by creating side hustles that ultimately, when I did lose that job, I'd be able to continue thriving. And I think if if you're a young person, if you're someone who has time on your side, I say take advantage of the time that you have on your side and start building yourself. He said, I don't trust the stock market. And that's cool. It doesn't have to be the stock market. Sometimes the biggest investment that you can make is in yourself, learning a skill, learning a trade, building your own business, real estate. There's so many things that you can do. There's so many side hustles that are out there that you can build for yourself. So this is my Christmas gift to myself. This is my last bit of indulgence for 2025. Enjoy the holidays. Hopefully you guys are able to find things and pick things up that you find, fun or exciting or things that you like. But yeah, going into the new year, it's pretty much going to be a wrap for me with the spending. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your holiday wish lists are or what you're going to be getting into. And I will catch you all on the next one. It's the Y2K Collector.